But I'm always watching something.
Yeah, I've not. I can't really say I've been binging more than I normally would on stuff, because the thing, I don't know what it is as well. I've noticed this really odd pattern, and it's only going back on my Netflix account. I seem to go through seasons, right, and I'll only get, like, say if it's the last episode coming up, I'll never watch it. I don't know what that is. I've just noticed that on my account. I'm like, I've gone through all these episodes of one season, but I'll never watch the final one. I'll leave it there. And in my brain, I'm telling myself, oh, I'll go back to that. I'll save it because I don't want it to finish. And then I never get round to actually finishing it in total. I've done it with Afterlife. I've done it with Stranger Things, where that's up to. And I don't know what it is. I've just recently done it with Cobra Kai as well on YouTube. Like, it's just this weird habit I've got into. And I've realised only today, really, that's my sort of pattern.
And you just don't get to the end.
I just don't get to the end. I don't know what it is. I blame it on Game of Thrones. I blame it on that because of how deflated I was by the end of it.
Do you know what? That's one program I never got involved with.
Well, I'm not. I still think it's worth watching. But there's a lot of seasons to it.
There is a lot of seasons. I used to be like the biggest Walking Dead fan, like the biggest fan. Mm-hmm. I used to volunteer at the conventions. I used to go and like meet the cast, everything. And I don't even know what it was. Like, I think the last 2 seasons, I just completely fell out of it. Mm-hmm. And I just never went back.
Yeah.
And that was it. And I was the biggest fan ever. Like, it was terrible. Like, if you called me between 9 and 10 o'clock on a Monday, you will not be getting a reply. Because that was Walking Dead time. Mm-hmm. And, 5 years I was going to a convention. Every single year I would have been
Were you doing the film and whatever, what is it called? Film and the one at, yeah.
Yeah, I do that every year. Yeah.
I just got fed up with them. And it's just the bloody people. I just can't deal with it anymore. I think I've just worn myself out because, I think they're a little bit better at it now, but the organisation was a nightmare. And I'd spend most of my day trying to like do this geography, almost like a work page on where I needed to be at what time to meet these people and all the rest of it. So I ended up just kind of getting bored. I think the last time I went, Pamela Anderson was there, and I remember getting a picture with her.
I went that year and I met her. Did you meet her?
I did meet her, yeah. I had a picture with her.
She was gorgeous.
Yeah, but I mean, now if yours was like mine, that flash was so bright, I thought it was an eclipse.
I will send you the picture.
Okay.
Did you notice how that flash looked perfect on her?
Yeah, well, it didn't on me, I'll tell you. Not that I'm anything to shout home about, but I mean, blimey, that was a crazy. Yeah, I remember. I think she was the year it was her. I think Natalie Dormer. That
was really good year. That was the year I went to Ibiza, and okay. I think it was maybe a couple of weeks before I was going to Ibiza that I went there, and that was such a good year that the people were unreal that were there. I can't remember who I met. I think I met some wrestlers.
Yeah, I always see the wrestlers because Steve Linsky's always doing the agenting stuff for them, and I always check in on him. I think Regal might have been there.
Yes, because do you know that's the year I met Victoria?
Okay. And was that the year as well that Jim Duggan was there? Because I remember doing a crazy video with him where we were doing the whole. It was going on forever. You kind of like you see those like old videos like documentaries where the wrestlers go to conventions because it's a very American type of thing, especially for wrestlers to do conventions and the way it's done there. It's not as crazy as perhaps what we see in London because we only get it like a couple of times a year. But when they do it in the States, it's a little bit more like you just get the dedicated wrestling fans there. And like the film, I don't know if you saw it, but The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke, and there's those scenes in it where you sort of see the old timers sitting there just waiting for somebody just to come up and say hello. That's what happened to me one year. I felt sorry for one of the guys sitting there. I don't know if I should say who it was. of which wrestler it was. I feel bad just by saying, but it was. He's in no way is he one of my favourites. This is how bad the story is. But it's when they had the wrestlers upstairs at the thing, so they was really out of the way anyway. But I saw him and he just looked so sad. He had puppy eyes, like no one was going near him, and it was actually Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
No.
Yeah. Brutus the Barber Beefcake, and I feel sorry for the guy, and I thought, he's not somebody I would have ever queued up for, or like, there was none of that. But I just felt sorry for him, and he kept looking at me as well, which made it worse because I had like a wrestling T-shirt on or something. So I thought, I better spend my £15 on him now. I'm not going to go to whoever. I think it might have been a choice between him or Road Warrior Animal, something like that. But the other guys were taking all the spots. I think there was like DDP. Was it DDP? Was it Christian? I can't remember. But there was somebody who was getting all the attention. So I ended up just paying my £15, and we ended up having a chat. Because he must have just been so bored. But I feel for those. What must that be like? You've travelled all this way from the States, and nobody even cares. I don't know. It's one of those. That's just what it was like.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, it was what it was like. So yeah, I do like the conventions, but yeah, you're right. Sometimes you get a really good lineup, sometimes not so much. And the worst thing is when somebody like cancels last minute.
Don't get me started on this conversation. Don't, because I've got issues after this situation.
Okay. Like my one that kept cancelling was what's his name? Charles Dance.
Yeah.
All the time.
Well, get this. So obviously, because I volunteer at these conventions, okay? There was it the year? Weren't last year, or was it last year? Was it the year before? No, it weren't last year. It was the year before. I was volunteering,
right?
And this was the year Megan Fox was going.
Right.
Megan Fox for me has been my ultimate girl crush since I was very young. I was so excited when I saw she was announced. Like, you have no idea. So week before this shit cancels on me, right? She cancels. To get to the convention to find out, I would have been working with her that weekend.
No.
I cried to my mum. I called my mum and I was like, Mum, I would have been working with Megan. And my mum was like, oh my God.
Who did you get instead?
I ended up, who did I get instead? It wasn't really anyone fun. I think, do you know, actually, I know who it was. It was the cast of like the old Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, okay.
They were really nice, actually, so I can't really complain. But I ended up working with them, and I was gutted. Last year, after the whole, I told you about the Rey Mysterio situation, I ended up, I'm kind of like wrong place, right time kind of thing. I was walking past all the wrestlers, and the girl that was there, she was like, oh, I've got to go home. Do you mind sitting here? And I was like, yes. So I ended up sitting between Melina and Kelly, and just having beers with them, just casually. And then I had like Chavo and Vicky Guerrero the other side of me having a laugh. I just thought, what a weird situation I'm sitting in.
Yeah.
I'm sharing a beer with Melina. Like, this is like my ultimate dream. It was weird.
Who's now back in it as well. She's been doing some NWA. Blast from the past. Now, have you, just going back on wrestling, have you got a certain preference to have you got a certain type of wrestling that you enjoy more than others, or are you very much, varied like the rest of us, I suppose, or do you have specific, is there like any other promotions that you really enjoy other than sort of WWE as well? Or?
Do you know what? I vary. Each promotion, I feel like they've got, really big ones in America have all got such good people in it. Obviously, I've been a loyal fan of WWE since I was like 7. So obviously the whole AEW thing, when that came along, I was a little bit, obviously, like I know a few other people were a little bit worried about it, thinking, because I've been such a loyal fan for so long, can I mix it up and watch it? But ended up, it's actually really good. So yes, I did watch it, and I did betray some people, but yeah, no, there are some really, really good promotions out there, and the time as well. Like now, it's kind of fighting to the death, really.
Yeah.
These people. They want the best.
Yeah, they to be fair, like they seem to have both those promotions for a long time stockpiled everybody that was independent for a long while. Like anybody that was just getting a little bit of fame, they were literally snapped up. Whether they were going to have anything done great, I don't know, but like they were just stockpiling everybody just so that the other promotion didn't get them. But obviously of late, like WWE made those huge cuts, which obviously goes to show like the negative side to doing that, like stocking up so many wrestlers. But
that's really depressing.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's there's a lot out there, there is a lot of promotions, like with Ring of Honor as well, which is just such a consistent product, and that NWA as well, even though they're only doing, I think they're doing 2 shows a week now on YouTube. I believe they're going to start doing soon, which is kind of popular. It's got like a niche market for those people that like that old school type of look. But I think the owner, Billy Corgan, I think he's got the right idea. I think like when he bought the NWA and they split off from TNA, I think like at least he's made some identity with that place. Whereas TNA for me is the most, it is the most inconsistent. I've never seen some promotion like rebranded as much as it has been with them. It's unbelievable. How many rebrands they've had and how many times they've changed things around in that place. So, but I know it's still going on now. I mean, they're still doing stuff, but it just looks totally different. Now, like you spoke about like TV shows and stuff. Like, are you what kind of films are you? Are you into a certain type of genre of films, or are you very much?
Do you know what? Like, I like my thrillers. I love a thriller. I still cover my eyes because I still get scared about horrors and thrillers. I'm not gonna lie, but I'll watch it.
What's like the scariest thing?
Do you know what? Okay, I have a massive fear of aliens.
As in the film Aliens?
No, as in aliens.
Just as in aliens. Okay, I got you.
As in aliens. That is one thing I will avoid.
Okay.
I really, really freak out.
Mm-hmm. Now, but I mean, would you get freaked out if, say, like Independence Day was on? Would that freak you out?
Do you know what? Even E.T. freaks me out.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's a no-go for anything like...
But do you know what I do love? I love anything, like I love any horror with a character, like your Chucky's, your Freddy Krueger's, your Jason X. I love all of that.
Right.
Like, it doesn't really scare me. If it's like a character, it doesn't scare me. I just think it's awesome. And I love, anything that like twists your mind. Oh, I love it. But I love my comedy. I don't like romance films. Not a big fan. Too soppy. It has to be a
certain type. I will watch. I'm quite a very my favourite genre, I believe, and it makes me sound really old. This, but is like westerns. I really love like old classic westerns, like especially spaghetti westerns. They're like my favourite. And then it'll be something like really old sort of gangster films, like The Godfather, Goodfellas, that type of thing. Very much Tarantino, massive on him, massive on Christopher Nolan as well. Those kind of films. But yeah, I will watch like most things, but I'm massive on Tom Hanks actually. You know what I have gone to though, which is something I never thought I would have. I ended up subscribing to Disney Plus.
Yes.
But I'm not a massive Disney fan by any stretch of the imagination. But it was kind of curiosity.
Yeah.
I had to check it out.
I completely have been rinsing out Sweet Life on Deck and Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Oh my god! I mean, I know that show.
That and the Cheetah Girls.
Oh Christ!
That has been my go-to.
As well, like with what's been going on as well. Like, how have you managed, like, other than binge watching stuff? How have you managed to be able to sort of stay a little bit sane and creative with like the content stuff. Have you come up with anything